Coming to the classification, as I said earlier, Bonner's classification is the most commonly used classification, and we have Amato classification and classification based on the surgical location. Bonner classification, here you have three type of ductus. First is the preduct. This is the ductus arteriosus. So the coarctation segment is above the ductus. So it is called the preductal. Second is the paraductal or juxtaductal. It is exactly opposite to the PDA, which is called juxtaductal or paraductal. And you have the type C, which is below the ductus. This is the ductus. It is below the ductus, which is called the postductal coarctation of aorta. This is Bonner's classification. Coming to preductal, preductal is called infantile form or in the newborn period, and there is no time for collateral to happen. So there is going to be poor collateral flow. All the flow is going to be maintained by the PDA. So PDA is very important in the newborn period to maintain the distal flow. It is caused by the infiltration of the ductal tissue into the aortic valve. The ductal tissue goes into the aortic valve and encircles it and causes the obstruction, and it is frequently associated with hypoplasia of the isthmus and the transverse arch. Here this part will be slightly narrowed. This is the extensive preductal coarctation. You can see the coarctate segment extending from the just above the ductus to the origin of the subclavian artery. That it is not distinct, it is more extensive. Coming to juxtaductal or postductal, which is called the adult type. Here lot of collaterals develop from the subclavian initially, and as the intercostal develops, this gives lot of collaterals to the lower part of the body. And as I said earlier, the blood supply to the spinal cord, anterior spinal artery, is done by the vertebral artery, which is again a part of subclavian artery, and maintaining ductal flow will be very useful in improving the systolic perfusion. Coming to Amato classification, here there are three types. Type 1 is only coarctation. It is primarily a coarctation of aorta without anything. Type 2 is the isthmus is hypoplastic. Type 3 is it is going to be tubular hypoplasia of the arch of aorta. These are all three types, and these types are divided into two subtypes, A and B. One is with VSD and another one is with cardiac anomalies. So you have three types and each type has two subtypes. Coming to surgical point of view, you have just isolated coarctation where you are going to repair the coarctation and come out, or you are going to have a coarctation with VSD or coarctation with complex intracardiac anomaly. This is surgical classification. Coming to the various theories involved in etiology of coarctation, there are two major theories. One is the ductal tissue theory and another is the hemodynamic theory. In the ductal tissue theory, the ductal smooth muscles migrate into the periductal aorta and causes narrowing and constriction of the aortic lumen. Okay, this is ductal tissue. In hemodynamic theory, there are intracardiac anomalies which prevents a forward flow across into the aorta. That means the flow across the aorta is going to be less. The theory is there is no flow of blood, there is no growth. So the intracardiac lesion restricts the flow and the coarctate and the aorta doesn't develop normally, and there is an obstruction across the aorta. So here you have the ductal tissue theory. The ductus infiltrate across the aorta and cause a circumferential construction. Here the obstruction is going to be totally across the aorta. This is ductal theory. In the hemodynamic theory, the flow across the aorta is reduced. So there is not much development here, and a self-like lesions comes in and it causes localized narrowing at that part of the aorta. So this is more of a localized narrowing and this is more of a circumferential narrowing. These are the two theories with coarctation of aorta. What are the various features which is suggestive of coarctation in the newborn period? The first and foremost is going to be the ratio of the proximal and the distal arch. Okay, the proximal arch will be slightly bigger than the distal arch, and if the ratio is going to be greater than 1.5, the proximal and the distal arch ratio is greater than 1.5, you can suspect coarctation of aorta. And there is going to be acute angling between the subclavian artery and the distal arch due to coarctate segment, and it is called critical coarctation when the diameter outside the arch is less than 3.9 millimeter, or the ratio between the distal arch to the descending aorta at the level of diaphragm is less than 0.63. These are all various measurements when you look at echocardiogram or CT angio to suggest a coarctation is present. Coming to the most important part, the pathophysiology of coarctation. You have a coarcted segment, that is preductal coarctation in the newborn period. Your left ventricle is outflow tract is obstructed. Because your left ventricle outflow tract is obstructed, your left ventricle afterload is bound to increase. As your afterload of the left ventricle is increased, the left ventricle failure can happen, and PDA becomes very important to maintain the systemic perfusion, and prostaglandin plays a crucial role in maintaining the patency of the ductus.